6,000 pounds, tandem axle, easy towing, short length right here. There's some strong, smart features going on in this camper. Welcome everybody, Josh the RV Nerd here with Bish's RV down at Winnebago today, getting my first look at the new Thrive series. And I'm not telling you it's perfect. It's the best thing I've ever seen. I think it's the best thing I've seen Winnebago do though in a very long time. And I think it is very much a product that you should look at here, because what you thought you knew from Winnebago the last couple of years, throw that away and look at them with fresh eyes right here. Now, speaking of eyes, if you pick up what I'm putting down, they absolutely, certainly, especially on the outside, took some inspiration from a few other brands that are out there. And this is not an original floor plan, but they took notes from everybody else. They have applied a lot of customer feedback to this, and I think have done some very cool things. So instead of talking about where it's the same, let's talk about where it's a little bit different. They have a protective layering basically applied to that gigantic front windshield to help make sure it doesn't get dinged up and banged up. I know it's a big concern when we see a huge chunk of glass on the nose of one of these. Pardon me, holy crap. I literally just choked on thin air, so never mind that. The bathroom, let's get a potential deal breaker out of the way. It's a radius shower. Some people are going to feel that's a little bit too small, and I want to volunteer that right up front to spare you 22 minutes of listening to me otherwise. But this floor plan has a lot of space and a big bed for a small camper. This is a 66 by 80 Olympic Queen that still lets you walk around, but they have nailed the storage around the bed on this thing. It's an open floor plan, lots of space, taller ceiling, 15,000 BTU air conditioner, a lot of aluminum structure, as down below the fiberglass, heated enclosed underbelly, hitch on the back, 200 watts of solar on the roof, and a kitchen countertop system that I haven't seen for a decade that I am glad is back. All right, so this is a floor plan that has existed forever, like the Sandlot, forever. But there's a good reason for it. It's not for everybody, but it's just a good floor plan. If what you're looking for is like, I want a small, nimble camping experience, but I still want a lot of space and decent storage, that's where this one comes into play right here. Now, a couple things are helping us. This has a little bit taller ceiling. It's 6'8" from floor to ceiling, so 80 inches, I think that is, 6'8". Yeah, that's also a 15,000 BTU air conditioner in this model. The Thrives that have private bedrooms, aka not this one, have the option for 50 amp and second air. So this is a 30 amp single air only camper. Keep that kind of in mind. They did include obviously that privacy shade there. Some people don't care about privacy in a little couples camper, and some people are like, man, I just don't feel comfortable feeling exposed when I'm sleeping like that. I get it. Now, I want to mention a couple things. We're going to come back to this. Somebody might ask, can I get a theater seat? No. Can I get a hide-a-bed? No. That's a jackknife sleeper sofa. They don't offer dinette. This floor plan essentially only comes this way. I'll expand on that in a few minutes so that you understand what and why. Working our way around here, they have, I've noticed like a double ducted air system. Reminds me a lot of like what Rockwood is doing on their air conditioning system. So it should be able to keep that air distributed, and more points of outlet means fewer points of air disturbance, aka less noise. Up front here, we have something I personally really like in RV design, a 66 by 80 Olympic Queen bed. The RV industry loves to call that some kind of goofy custom king. It's not. In residential terms, it is quite literally an Olympic Queen. But I found that not a lot of people know what that is, but more people are learning about what that is. Winnebago has been very good about this for a while, though. Putting big windows where they can. They were kind of doing it before it was cool. Now, this floor plan, being fair, doesn't have the greatest in the way of campside window coverage. And actually, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to slide over to the sofa, sit down here, and this is kind of the view from the driver's seat. Like almost any builder who makes this floor plan, the TV is kind of a little bit up and to the left. Obviously, you can pivot around very nicely, so you'll be able to see it whether you're sitting here at the sofa or up in the front bed. Over here on the campside, you've got the bedroom breeze across window, kitchen viewing window, full window in the door with privacy shade. Although the Thrive models that have a second door to like the bedroom or the bathroom, they will not have a window in those so that you can maintain privacy, which I think is my personal 2 cents. That's the correct way of doing it. The cabinetry is so much better looking and feeling than what it looks like on camera. Because this RV has very warm lighting, so it's making everything look kind of super brownish. It's you need to see this in person because the camera is not representing this, I think, correctly. And when you have the hand feel, the touch of this is excellent. Oh, this is one of the things I was really excited about. The kitchen counter and sink is all one thing. This is all a one-piece, seamless, molded sink and countertop. Now, I have it covered up. Yes, there is a drain in that sink. I just happen to have that little limestone-looking cutting board on top of it. Man, we have a lot to cover on this thing. Let me start getting a little more detailed on this right here. Let's start up in the front bedroom area. First of all, very easy lift bed, and the bed base is true queen size. So if you don't like this, I don't know about this whole Olympic queen concept, Jack. We'll just put a true queen bed in it. All you have to do is shave down that plywood a little bit. I will say, just being fair, I don't know that I love seeing the footprints on the bottom of this, but I don't know that it's hurting anything. But yeah, there you go. Now from there, footprints notwithstanding, I feel like this is a masterclass on how to do bed storage. This has been done very, very well. The above the bed space. I kind of like how some brands will give you the extra drawers and stuff below the bed, but I'm not unhappy with just a giant foot locker. This, by the way, is a full extension drawer, but there's a bunch of stuff in the way, so I just didn't move it all. You do have your normal dual hanging wardrobes, but above the bed with the anti-gravity doors that fully enclose and allow full, easy access to the storage. No like dead paneled off pockets. It's just, chef's kiss. Very happy with what I see there. You might notice too, all blackout roller shades, but I love that just simple aluminum shroud over the roller. It's simple, it's clean, it's not that cardboard valance that's held together by a bajillion staples in your imagination that has been used in the industry for so long. And the fact that they gave us the drawers and the dual open kind of power pockets right there, I really, really like that. Now, in case you're curious, that big front windshield does have a pull-down blackout privacy shade, just like the rest of the windows, basically. Now, flip it around the other direction here. I told you I'd come back to the sofa, and I want to do that now before I forget. You might look at this and go, what do you mean I can't put a theater seat in? That looks like a full couch. It looks like a full couch. If you look over here, the wooden box on the floor is your wheel well. The wheel well in this floor plan sticks up into the body of the RV. Then you see that light wooden thing with the black trim around it. That's actually the floor of the slide. They give you a false front on the sofa. It is essentially just a jackknife sofa. And that's really all that they can have, all that they do offer in this floor plan. But again, the nice little details like this, like just like above the bed right here, the fact that all of this is easy access. It's all pocket screwed lumber core cabinetry, by the way. And I also noticed when I went through this, like when I see wiring in slide walls like this, it usually means it's a non-laminated slide wall. I was a little bit surprised to find that they're doing it the hard but cool way of giving us wiring in the walls that are also aluminum framed and laminated. I just, again, kind of shocked and impressed. And without question, this is designed to be a solo or couples camping floor plan. If you do have a guest, they need to be a smaller kid, basically, or a bigger dog. And with the little seams and with all the cushions, yeah, it's not going to be a perfectly flat sleeping space. So just, I guess, kind of keep that in mind. Working our way around right here, at a glance, the kitchen just looks kind of, I think, almost a little flat and a little ho-hum. But when you start opening everything up, you start realizing, I think, how nicely done this is. But real quick, before I get too far along, I do want to kind of demonstrate the TV can pivot around so that when you're laying in bed, you could watch TV. Frankly, if you left the bathroom door open and left the TV pointed over in that direction, you could probably watch some toilet TV, man, which I know is a really big deal for my Uncle Gary. And with the little bit taller ceiling, they had opportunities to do some cool stuff with the storage. I think what they did here is really smart. On the left side, we just have a big, tall, open area for, like, if you got pitchers for sweet tea or something like that, or tall cereal boxes. I don't know. You got big space, but for small stuff, they split this up. They made the bottom section a little shorter though, so I think normal glasses, coffee cups can go there. Stuff that's a little bit taller can go up here. It's just, to me, it's really smart. It's really smart. Where's my kitchen outlets? Hold up. Okay, hold on. We've got a set of power outlets down here on that side, and that seems to be mostly it. That feels minimal. Then again, I've got power outlets next to the big chunk of available counter space. Am I going to even be able to use other power outlets? I'm not sure I necessarily would. So maybe that's all this floor plan needs? He asks with a gigantic question mark and his voice going up at the end of the sentence. This is another thing. I don't know if they meant to nail it this hard, but this removable silverware section that slides in the top of this drawer right here, which all the drawers and all the cabinet doors, by the way, are all soft close. Having the ability to take that out and use it like on the picnic table or whatever, I think that's really handy. And if you just don't like it, you just don't use it. Dedicating some nice wastebasket space. You know what I thought of? That could give you garbage and recycling, or just double the garbage capacity, which is kind of cool. Working our way around, they've become very good at like tucking the converter fuse box away, but making sure it's going to be easily accessible. That's another thing with this floor plan. I can tell you, I've never closed the slide on this specific camper, but I know this layout very well. When the slide closes, you're going to be able to use essentially everything. This is some A+ road mode access right here. Now, this I love. First of all, we have motion lighting in this little area right here. Secondly, you see that if you want to, you can remove this pantry shelf, and it's what I call a closet. It's a pantry closet, and you can customize how you use this, and so you don't have to dig around on your hands and your knees. The storage kind of comes to you. And did you notice Winnebago has re-implemented ovens, just traditional propane ovens in this kitchen, which is something I haven't seen them do for like 6 years. And usually with this floor plan, most people are completely on board until we get to the bathroom, and this is where some people tend to fall off. So let's go step by step, New Kids on the Block style. First of all, porcelain foot flush stool. It's a little tight on the elbow room. I'm not going to mince words. It's tight back there. And that's going to be problematic for some people. And it's kind of tight whether you're a lefty or a righty. It's going to be a little bit tighty. Now, I think really took some notes from Rockwood here, including some nice linen storage in the bathroom. But what I love about this is how it's actually fully enclosed. And they were kind enough to actually throw some stuff in here. And that's legit towel storage. And because it closes, that could also be all of your body washes and stuff that you could put in there. You know what I mean? Let's take a look at some headroom up in the shower. For the most part, I'm probably representing about 6'2" on camera right here with my shoes on. So the headroom in this, I thought was fine. The elbow room for some people is where they dislike this shower. I did notice though, the radius corner shower they're using has a little more of a pronounced aggressive lip in the corner. That might actually be able to hold a couple shower beers. You know, that's a very important metric to track when you are shopping for an RV. How many shower beers can it hold? But moving on from there, remember the kitchen counter sink situation we saw in earlier? They do the exact same thing in the bathroom. Not a ton of counter space here, but enough to hold like your toothbrush holder and stuff. But I love the fact that it just has that kind of seamless one-piece molded look on it. I will be very curious to see how that performs out in the field, in the wild, when these things start selling. Again, though, one of the awesome things about this floor plan, crushes the Cracker Barrel test, man. So, what I've noticed here, closing this RV's slide out, it gets a little tight up here around the bed. But oh, hold on, my shorts got hooked on one of those cabinet door handles. But I can do a butt scoot boogie, and I can slide my way around the sucker. Now, a question I commonly get, because I talk about it on camera a lot, is can I sit in this slide while it's retracted? I think so, but I can't promise you that. This is not a Schwintek. This is a Slim Rack slide system. Brinkley RV uses that in their bedroom slides. And they say, yes, you can sleep in our beds while they're retracted. That makes me think you could use the sofa while it's retracted here. But I don't have Winnebago's word on that. But as you see, from the door to the bathroom to the kitchen to potentially using the sofa, this might be a 100% functional floor plan with the slide closed. And that is a hard thing to find in an RV with a slide out. The towing vectors on this one are awesome, and I think a lot of people are probably going to agree. I think very comfortably going to be half-ton towable in most cases. There might be some extreme cases of some rather gutless wonder half-tons out there that are made for cafe requirements that only have like a 4,500-pound tow rating. Believe it or not, that is a thing that does exist, so be careful out there. That's why you always need to examine vehicle capacities individually. But generally speaking, I think you're going to be able to yank this thing around. And tandem axle, short length, easy towing, easy parking, just strong qualities here. Let's start right up front, because Maria told us that starting at the very beginning is a very good place to start. We got to talk about this giant chunk of glass on the front, because this is going to give some people an instant heart attack. I get it. We have a couple things to discuss on this. It is very hard to see in camera. It's easier to see in person. Ooh, we gotta look at it right there. This is actually a stick-on glass stone deflection protection layering. So from the factory level, they are doing something right there. If you want a little more protection, there does exist an aftermarket component that you can get, is from Fit Protection or something, but any Winnebago dealer can order this for you. And if you want that big, like serious, thick, heavy stone guard for going down the road, maybe you live on a dirt road or whatever, you just don't want to worry about a stone flinging on the highway, you do have the ability to do that if you are so inclined. This does ride on a little bit different chassis. It's a Norco chassis, not a traditional Lippert I-beam frame, so a little bit different right there. The underbelly is enclosed. It is forced air heated. Best I can tell you is that this has an extended season weather package, because to my knowledge, they haven't actually done cold chamber testing. I have never really known Winnebago to do a lot of that. 4-corner push button easy power stabilizers is kind of a cool thing here. Also, you can see where the spare tire is belly mounted, and over there, you do have yourself ye old propane cooker hooker, ladies and gentlemen. So if you feel like doing some grilling or whatever, you can. Now, this... Look, the front baggage compartment on this is impressive, I think, first of all. So you might notice how it doesn't use the butterfly silver twist latches. They have a fully enclosed protected piano hinge, so that if you live in kind of the Midwestern weather I get, where it gets freeze and thaw, when water freezes, it expands. If you get water on that hinge, it freezes and expands. It will spring the hinge and cause it to go screech like a good old beer cooler. The best beer cooler is the one that does squeak and creak, though, because it tells you if your buddy Dave is getting into the good stuff, because Dave always brings the cheap stuff and wants to drink your good stuff. Am I right? Everybody knows a Dave. Maybe yours isn't named Dave, but he's a Dave. I don't even know why Dave feels right. Anyway, moving on from here. Below the fiberglass, you do have Asdel layering. This is the only Thrive model currently produced that will have wall-mounted outside speakers. Normally, I'm going to continue to spin you around like a record baby over to the right. Normally, they would be mounted down in the skirt metal, as you see over there in the distance. But there's a major difference. That's a bigger, longer, heavier travel trailer. And notice how its entire body is above the wheel wells. And notice how this RV, which is smaller on a 2-step entry door instead of a 3-step entry door, the wheel wells stick up into the body of it. So it's not tall enough to have traditional skirt metal. I like this, just the clean look, that like single beam fusion light on the awning there. You might notice how we do have a factory installed ladder, so you don't have to go get some telescopic removable thing. It's just there and it's done. And personally, I prefer that, but I do caution you, please don't strap crap to your ladders. They are not designed to carry cargo, no matter the fact, it doesn't matter that some third-party company who didn't build your camper, who isn't providing your warranty, some third-party accessory company created a ladder mount for your blue tote tank or your ladder or your chairs. They're not supposed to go on the ladder. So do with that information what you will. If you choose to put stuff on the ladder, that's fine. But I don't recommend it. We do have a 2-inch receiver hitch on the back here in case you want to add some bike racky kind of stuff. I personally would like it if the taillights were spread out a little bit further and mounted a little bit higher so that things like bikes don't get in the way. That is a slim rack slide system, which is the same thing that Brinkley's using on their bed slide. So as far as I know, you should be able to occupy that slide while it's retracted, although I don't actually know Winnebago's stance on that. So the fact at the end of the day is that Winnebago is the one providing the warranty, so it is their word that we are beholden to. Now, this model right here does have a singular sewer outlet, and Winnebago did get rid of the cable-style draw pulls on those gate valves. They were just having too many warranty claims on them, so they said, forget that. We're getting rid of those things. We're going to go back to just traditional things that work, you know, with just a rod that you push in and out. Crazy. Sometimes the simplest thing just works the best. 60,000 BTU tankless on-demand water heater, and you can just barely see that 200-watt solar panel peeking up over the roof line right there, acting as a nice little battery tender while she's in storage to give you a little more extended off-grid kind of use. But keep in mind, this RV doesn't have the equipment to like run the air conditioner off the grid or anything like that. And the 12-volt fridge alone will probably be able to overpower that 200-watt solar panel plus your battery system and slowly drain your battery. So keep that in mind. If you want some serious off-grid capability, call us. Our stores can help assist you with getting there. But by default, we're not all the way there. And I just want you to know what's what. Now, here's what's kind of shocked me. I didn't realize this because I don't see pricing sheets and invoices. Like, I'm not in sales. I don't see dollars and cents on this stuff. That's why I leave you a link in the description. You can jump to our website and you can find out about the pricing on one of these. But I did have a chance to actually look through one of those real quick. And what has kind of shocked me is that these Thrive models are coming in less money than what I had been seeing on the Winnebago mini series. And I almost arguably feel this might be better equipped and smarter execution in certain key areas. I feel very strongly this is one of the best things Winnebago has put out in a very long time here. But again, this floor plan is not original to Winnebago, nor is it unique. So take a look at the links in the description, not only for pricing, but also to see some videos from some other builders and let me know which one you would go with and why if your money were on the line. And short of that, appreciate you tuning in, everybody. Till next time, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.